Hello everyone. Today we will create one application which is the desktop application we can say, right? For that we will use Applet and JDBC. In previous lecture you have seen the JDBC connectivity. For creating this application, select from file menu, new project, right? Then from category select Java and then Java application, right? Then finish. Right, here you can give the name of the application. For example, I am giving the demo application, right? Then click on the finish button. So the application is created, right, with the package demo application and one class with the main function of the demo application, right? So there is no need of this main function, right? So because we are creating our own application, we will create our own classes. I have available these classes in another application. I will just copy and paste these classes into my current application, right? So these are the all classes which I have created for our application, right? I will paste these classes into the my class now current application, right? So here the classes are pasted. After pasting this class, right, once you see the all classes are available in my current application, right, there is one more class which was already there with the same name, right? I will delete this class, right? In delete, make sure you are refactoring, right? Safely delete so that it will be deleted from directory also. Now the name we have to rename as it was a duplicate file, so click Alt Enter, right? Alt Enter, press Alt Enter and you can have the option rename. So the class is renamed and error is resolved, right? Now we have the two classes, demo application.java and init applet.java, right? You can see the both classes and our application flow can be start from any of them. I am running this code, right, from the init applet.java, right, so that we can see the output of our application, so we can see the what we are going to do. You can run from here also, right? Actually no need to create the both of this file, just for reference for you I have created both of them. Now I have run this code, right, so that we can create our application according to GUI. First we will see the GUI so that we can have the idea of the application, right? Here you can see one frame or applet is created. There is a label and 3 buttons, right? We have to create one label and 3 buttons. Once you click on any of the button, another frame will be opened, right? But before that we will see our table, our database which is a user, right, and our table, user table, right, in which you can see 2 columns ID and password and 2 data are available, means 2 records are here. Now we will manipulate this table, right? So when I clicking on the insert, update or delete, right, there will be one frame, right? For example, clicking on the insert, right, I am entering some data, right, then it will be inserted to in table, right? You can see the 3 of the frames are opening. Now I am entering any data, for example as ID C1 and as password 123, right? After inserting data there must be a message which will be displayed, right? So here our message is not displayed, it means my data is not inserted, there might be some issue. So let me reminder you that whenever we are dealing with the JDBC, we need to include the library file for the JDBC that can be added. Right click on libraries, add library, right? From here you can add the MySQL jar file, which can be used for database connectivity. Right? So from here you can select the file. Now this can be added, right? So we need to again run this code, right? Because we have made changes in application, right? I am running this code. Here you can see the output again, right? This is the applet or frame, which is AWT or swing. So your GUI may not work properly sometime. I am clicking on the insert and inserting data. As ID I am entering C1 and as password I am entering 123. Now click on the next button, means insert button. You can see the message is displayed here now. It means my data is successfully entered. Now let us see in the table whether the data is inserted or not. Right? Here you can see the data is inserted. Third row is inserted C1 and password is 123. Right? So our insert query is working properly in GUI also. Right? After the inserting, right, we will move for the update, right, whether the data is updated or not. Again we will open the first frame or applet, right. We will click on the update record. We will enter the ID. We will update the same record, right. We will update the password. I am entering the ID C1, right, and I want to update the password from 123 to ABC. So I will type here ABC. Then I am clicking on the update. So you can see the message, data is updated successfully, right? And here the data is updated or not, let us see. So you can see the password is updated from 123 to ABC, right? So our update query is working properly. Now for delete, let us see whether it is working or not, right. For example, I am entering the ID C1, right. After entering the C1 ID, click on the delete button. You can have the message deleted successfully. Again I will check into our database, right. In database I am refreshing the data and then you can see our third record is deleted with the ID 1, right. So this is our application which is working for insert, update and delete. This is the very basic application. There is no validation, right. So we will see how this basic working is done in the applet or frame. For that, first we have the class, right, that is a demo application.java and initapplet.java. You can use any of them, right. We will understand both of them, right. So this is our initapplet.java. In this applet is created. In demo application.java frame is created, right. So this is the init applet, right. I am just deleting the comment so then you can view the code properly, right. So this is the init applet and the previous file was demo application.java. You can see the package, right. Package name is demo application and further you can see the various classes which are imported, which are used for creating applet components and also the event listener, right. So these are the classes which are used here, right. And then you can see our class, right, the public class initApplet, right. You can see the class which extends JApplet. JApplet is a swing component, implements action listener. Action listener is a listener, right, which is invoked after the event, right. This is the JApplet and action listener, right. Inside this class you can see the various objects are created. First is JLabel and JButton, right. We will see in our GUI, right, whether these components are there or not, right. I am running this code again so that you can compare which component should be added, right? You can see in the first window there is one label, database application, right? And you can see the 3 button, right? First, this is the label and these are the 3 buttons, right? So we will add this label and buttons, right? You can see the J label and J button. There are 3 buttons and there is a void init method, right, in which we are adding our code, right? First you can see I have set the layout of this applet, right? You can see the layout is grid layout, 4 rows and 1 column. Then you can see the size which is 400 by 400. Then I have initialized the J label and given the name label database application, right? And you can see the alignment I have set J label dot center. Then I have added label using add method. And you can see then I have initialized the buttons, right? And I have given the name to the buttons insert record, update record and delete record. This is the way I have created object. And this is the add method. Using this I have added this button on applet. And this is the very important part of event handling, right? I have added the action listener, means I have registered the object with the action listener, right? This is the must in event handling, because without this the action cannot be listened by the action listener, right? This is the required for creating the action and listening the event, right? Now you can see the I have implemented action listener, right? You can see the action listener here. For that I have to implement the method of action listener, which is action performed, right? This is the method of action listener interface. It takes the parameter action event, right? Object of action event. You can see in the bracket the parameter of action performed, which is action event E. Inside this method I have done the if else, right? There is no is, if. You can see it is a simple if. If the action event is insert record, right? If the e.get action command will return the insert record, means it should return the label of the button. When it is clicked on the insert record button, then you have to create the object of insert data class, right? If the get action command will return the update record, means the label of the update record, then you have to create the object of update data, right? And the third is if e.get action command returns the delete record label, then you have to create the object of delete data class, right? Here it is missing, so I am writing this line new delete data, right? So these are the anonymous object, right? Because I have not given the name of the object, because further the object is not being used, only the object is created and one window will be opened, right? So there is no need to given the name, right? Now we will see these classes insert data, update data and delete data, right? First we will see the insert data, then we will see the update data, right? And the last we will see the delete data. In these classes, right, we have done the database connectivity code for inserting, updating and deleting. First see our code insert data, how it is work for firing insert query, right? Starting you can see this is code for insert data, right? Whenever I am clicking on the insert record, there are 2 labels, 2 text boxes and 1 button. So these components I have to add in my frame. This is the frame. Previous one was applet, right? So whenever I am clicking on the button, one frame is created, right? For creating frame, I have to create the object of frame. First I have created the object of label, right? Because I needed 2 label. After the creating of 2 labels, right, you can see the text field, J text field, right? You compare with the output, right? You can see the 2 labels are here, right? ID and password. After this you can see the text boxes, text field, JLabel, which will be displayed after the inserting, right? So these are the components, right, we need to add on this frame, right? And before the starting the class, you can see the extends JFrame, right, and implements action listener. Inside this I have created one constructor, right, for the initialization. You can see the entire code which is written in constructor, right, because this is not the applet. First I have set the layout, which is the flow layout. Then I have set the title of the frame, right. Then I have set the size of the frame, right, using the set size method. Then this is the required method, set visible, right. If you don't use this method, the frame will not be visible, right. So this is the must, and you have to pass the parameter as true, not false. And this is the default close operation. This is not required in this. Whenever you feel it is required, you can remove this comment. Then this is a blank label, right, and then you can see, right, ID and password label, right, and last one is text field for the ID and password, right. I have initialized, and then I have added for these things 2 labels and 2 text fields, right. And then at the last I have added the button, J button, right, and I have given the name the button insert, which is shown in the inverted comma and in the bracket as a parameter, and then I have added this button in this frame. Now whenever we are clicking on this button, the event should be handled, right. So I have to register the listener with the object, right, add action listener, right, in the bracket takes the current object. Then I have created the blank label and added this label. This will be displayed whenever data is inserted, right. So this is the initial code. You can see here that I have implemented the action listener, so that I have to implement the method of action listener also, which is action performed. Here you can see the public void action performed method, right. This is the action perform method. In this method I will implement the database connectivity, right. Clicking on the button, the data should be inserted, and you can see the database connectivity code inside the try. First I will fetch the data from the text field, right, and this is the code for the database connectivity. Before that I have fetched the data using get text method, right. You can see first is class.forName method for registering the driver. We have seen this in previous example also, right. Then you can see the creating connection, right, using the get connection method. I am creating the object of connection. Then I have created the object of statement for executing our query. Then I am executing our query using st.executeUpdate. In the bracket you can see I have written the query for the insert, which data are fetched from the text field. Here you can see that I have set the text, right, and set the text which is the data inserted successfully. Before that I have blank the both text field, and here you can see the catch block, right, which is must after try. You can see the both of 2 exceptions are added here, because of JDBC connectivity this exception can be occur, right. Inside that I have called the method print stack trace for printing the stack trace of the exception, right. You must see that I have blanked the text box after the inserting using set text method, right. Here you can see the code of insert data, right, which is used for inserting the data using the click event. Then we can see the update data, right. In the update data you can see the same format as insert data, as a package name, right, package name is given. Then the import, then I have created the class extends JFrame for creating it as a frame, then implements action listener. Then you can see the various components I have added. You can see further, right, After that I have created the constructor, then layout is set, which is a flow layout, right? And then you can see the different code which is totally same as the insert data.java. Various components are created and added, and then you can see the method add action listener with which the button is registered with event, right? Then you can see the label blank through which we are printing the message whether the data is updated successfully or not. Then we are adding the label, right? Then you can see the we have registered the button with the add action listener, right? And the before the class you can see the add action listener, right, for the event handling. These are the steps for event handling: add action listener, then implements action listener. For that we have to implement the method action performed, right? You can see here the action perform method, right? Inside that we will include the JDBC code, right? And the JDBC code will be included into a try catch block. So in try block you can see we are fetching the data from the text field, right? In the starting of try block, yeah, right, you can see we are fetching the data from the text field, right? Then you can see the database connectivity as same as previous. You can see the difference only in the update query, right? In previous example we were using the query of insert data, and you can see here the query I have used, that is update data, right? The catch block is same as previous file, right? So this is the update data. Now we will see the delete data file, right? And this is the delete data file, right? You can see in this file first line is for package, then import classes, then you can see the class name delete data extends JFrame, implements action listener which will create a JFrame whenever the constructor will be called, right, through the object. You can see the various components, objects are initialized, right? Then inside the constructor you can see the layout of frame, right, is set, then the title is set, size is set, and then the visibility is also set. You can see the code is same as previous file, right? We have added various components, and then you can see the add action listener which is the must for event handling, right? With the button I have registered this method, and then you can see the method action performed, right, which is the method of interface action listener, right? For the event handling we have to implement this method, right? In this method we will write our database connectivity code so that the data will be deleted from the table. You can see the entire code in action performed is given in the try catch block, because we are connecting with the database, exception can occur, right? And the code is similar to the previous two files, right? The difference is the query. You can see here the delete query is done, and you can see the execute update method is used with that, and the entire code is similar as previous two files, right? Now we will see in the table, right, here are two records, right, in this table. Now we will run this code. For example, I am inserting data, right? This I have already run before. I am again running this code so that you can identify the output with the inserted code, right? Here I am adding one name, right, that is another name than previous one, which is that you can see ID and password I have entered, right? I have entered ID as Shivangi, and as a password I am typing 123, right? Then I am clicking on the insert button. Then you can see the message will be printed, data inserted successfully. Then again we can check inside our database, right? In database you can see the entry is inserted, right? You have to refresh this database. Here you can see the Shivangi ID with the password 123 is inserted. Now we will update this data, right, using our application, right? This is the for insert. Now update record. Now as ID again I will insert Shivangi, right? And my password was previously 123, right? Now I will add the password as ABC. So sorry, ABC not, I am typing the password 12345, right? Let me check the whether password is updated or not, right? So here we can see the ID Shivangi and password is updated from 123 to 12345, right? So this is the update query. Now we will try for the delete query, right? Let me delete this record. I will type the ID in this, right? For the deleting the record, you have to provide the ID. Here the delete query is not showing the result because there might be the changes we have done which may not be applied. Now we will go back to our code, right? Now I am saving my changes in this file, right? So my changes are now saved. Now again I will try to delete the record from the table using my application, right? I will click on the delete record. There is a now frame is open. I will type here Shivangi as ID. So my data must be deleted from the table. Here I am deleting this data. So there is a message data deleted successfully. We will see these changes in our table whether the data is deleted or not, right? Here you can say the data is deleted from using our application from the table, right? So this is our delete query, right? And we have started our control from the init applet method, init applet class, right? So this is the different class demo application. Init applet was the first applet from where our control will be started, and this is the another class demo application which is a JFrame, right? From we can start our flow of application, right? You can see the code is written inside the constructor, right? This code was written in applet in the init method, right? So this is the one difference between these two files, right? You can add any of this file. This is not required. You should add the both the files where applet is a standalone and the JFrame is not standalone. You can see here two lines. Visibility I have to set the true and the default close operation. This is one more difference, right, which we have to add while we are using the frame, whereas in applet we have not used these things, right? In any applet we haven't added this line, right? So these are the all the files, right? And one more difference, let me show you that in init applet there was a applet, so we haven't added the main function, but in case of demo application file we have to add the main function from which we are creating of object of subclass of JFrame, means the object of demo application, right? So starting the frame we have to create the object of that frame class, right? There are two options of creating frame. One is creating the object of frame and another one is creating the object of subclass of frame. So that's why we are adding. You can see this is the init method, right? And the previous file there was a constructor, right? So this is the demo application of us, right? Insert, update and delete, right? This is the very basic operations I can say. The validation you can add, right? The more functionality also you can add in this file, right? Thank you.